Now let's talk elections in Nigeria. Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has identified vote buying and insecurity as some of its major concerns ahead of the forthcoming governorship elections in Osun. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, during a press conference, said plans are on to record a smooth election in the state. Yakubu noted that with the improvement recorded in the performance of bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS), among other technical successes recorded during the just concluded Ekiti poll, the Commission looks forward to replicating similar feats in Osun State.
The poll fixed for July 16th is one of the 8 off-cycle governorship elections in Nigeria. But security and vote buying are the 2 major reoccurrences that have continued to undermine Nigeria's electoral process. Joining us to discuss the plans of INEC ahead of the 2022 Osun Gubernatorial election is INEC Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Barrister Festus Okoye. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Barrister Okoye.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Now, we're 10 days away from the Osun State governorship elections. Tell us where INEC is as regards preparations.
We are ready for the governorship election. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission is currently in Osogbo. We have met with some of our staff at the various local governments. We talked 5 local governments the day before yesterday. And yesterday, we met with the Osun Council of Obas at the Oni of Ife's Palace in Ife. To also appeal to them to be on top of the situation in terms of sensitizing people on the need to be calm, the need to be peaceful during the election. We also went around some of our local governments where we did what we call mock accreditation to test the functionality of the beavers and to be sure that the beavers will perform optimally. This morning, the chairman and national commissioners will meet with the various security agencies, and thereafter we're also going to meet with both the national and state leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers to firm up arrangements for movement of personnel and materials. We also went to so many of the venues where we are training our presiding officers and assistant presiding officers and supervisory presiding officers. And generally, we are confident that we are on top of the situation. The only thing remaining is for the sensitive materials to arrive. But all the non-sensitive materials have been batched in accordance with the various registration areas waiting for movement. And so we are confident that we are preparing and we have prepared well for this election.
Sounds like a lot of work has been done. I also heard that, INEC, of course, Commissioner had, or Chairman rather, had said that they will, improve on the Ekiti elections. But one of the things that, was noticed in the Ekiti elections was, of course, insecurity and vote buying is one of the concerns, even now ahead of the polls. What, is the Commission doing to address this concern as we, of course, approach these at the next elections?
The conduct of any successful, credible, and inclusive election is a multi-stakeholder venture. It has all the critical stakeholders in the electoral process must come together, put the energies together, and then confront challenges in relation to the electoral process. The main remit of the Independent National Electoral Commission is to organize, undertake, and supervise elections. And that we have been doing and will continue to do. Well, the task of providing security for the electoral process, the task of providing security for our staff and personnel, and also for the voters, resides with the various security agencies. And you know that in terms of election, the Nigerian Police Force is the lead agency on election security. And so, to that particular extent, we are collaborating with them. We've met at the national level under the auspices of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. At the state level, we are going to meet with the security agencies today. And the resident electoral commissioner for the state has also been meeting with them at the various local governments. We have 30 local governments in Osun State. Our electoral officers have been meeting with the divisional police officers to firm up on issues around security. And so, as far as the Commission is concerned, we are doing our best to make sure that we firm up on the issue of election security. And on the issue of vote buying that has been trending, let me say this. The configuration of some of our polling units makes it next to impossibility to have 100% secrecy in terms of the votes. What we operate in Nigeria is what we call the open secret system of voting. You thumbprint in secret and then cast your vote in the open. And sometimes our polling units are out there in the open. So it takes time. It takes a lot of dexterity to position the voting cubicles in such a way to guarantee the secrecy of the vote. But our trainers have been asked to emphasize on the issue of the secrecy of the vote with our presiding officers and assistant presiding officers. And we have also collaborated with the various security agencies, and we continue to collaborate with them in terms of deploying both plainclothes and uniform security personnel to the various polling units to make sure that nobody goes to the polling units to go and buy or sell votes. And so that's exactly what we are doing.
Yeah, but Mr. Koyi, I'm sure that these are things that have been spoken about in the past. And INEC has continued to. I'll give, the body some credit. They've continued to fine-tune and, improve on the electoral process. And of course, attempts to reduce vote buying. But it still somehow, some way continues to exist in the electoral process. Do you think that there is more that should be done?
As far as the commission is concerned, we have made it very, very clear. We have gone to the National Assembly. We have gone to various agencies. And the commission has canvassed that the only way to break the present cycle of electoral impunity, the present cycle of vote buying, and also this impunity of people thinking that they can corrupt the electoral process and get away with it, is to set up an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal to take care of the issue of arrest, the issue of investigation, and the issue of prosecution of electoral offenders. The Independent National Electoral Commission does not effect arrests. We do not have the power to investigate. We only have the power to prosecute. And sometimes the culprits may even be a staff of the commission. And so we believe that if we have an independent agency, an independent commission that will be charged of arrest, investigation, and prosecution, that we may stem the tide of the present scourge of vote buying. But I think that all Nigerians have to do more in terms of naming and shaming the vote buyers. It's not as if these vote buyers are ghosts. Some of these vote buyers come to the polling units and everybody sees them. And sometimes some of the security agencies at the level of the polling unit who are not armed find it very, very difficult to do something because of the security situation at the level of the polling units. And so if we have a situation where we can even set up mobile calls on election day to deal with the issue of vote buying, I think that it will go a long way in stemming this particular tide. But more importantly, we need to step up enlightenment. We need to step up sensitization of our people because the people are exploiting the poverty of our people, the vulnerabilities of our people, and also some of the other fault lines in the electoral process to corrupt the process, and it is completely unacceptable.
Now, while you were talking, you mentioned the fact that it would be better if INEC had an independent body that would enforce these arrests. Do you see that happening anytime soon?
I think that the media, civil society groups and organizations and other critical stakeholders have a role to play in making sure that the bill that is presently pending before the National Assembly sees the light of day. I was a member of the Electoral Reform Committee under the leadership of the Honorable former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Uwais, that was set up by President Yar'Adua in 2007. We did recommend the setting up of an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal. I was also a member of the 2014 National Conference. We did recommend the setting up of an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal. The Begore Committee, almost every committee that has been set up, the Lemu Committee, every committee that has been set up in relation to the problems of our electoral process, recommended the setting up of this Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal to deal with the issue of arrest, investigation, and prosecution of electoral offenders. And so I think that we need to push and get the National Assembly to do the needful, since the powers, the legislative powers of the Federation resides with the National Assembly. And I think that they should do the needful to make sure that we stem the present tide of vote buying in our electoral process.